Yu-Gi-Oh is a lot of luck at the end of the day. A lot of luck. And then you get one of these bad boys.
Hello, Julius, and welcome to today's episode of The Road to Regionals. We're at episode 3 now, and we're well on the path to our first attempt at bringing home that blue deck box, with 2 regionals this month alone. So I had to take things seriously, I had to pattern it up, and I've called in the big guns. I've got someone that's got it done at the highest level, and that is my boy Ahmed. Ahmed calls himself AI. You might have faced him on your Neuron app, but he most recently was the runner-up of the UK Open in Liverpool, which was actually the largest UK tournament. Crazy achievement. So as someone that's been there, he had a lot to tell us about. So we sat down, we talked about the 3 biggest decks in the format, and there's a bit more advice on how we can take it there this weekend with our first attempt at the Cheltenham Regional. Let's see how it went. What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 3 on our road to regionals. Now, as we get closer with 2 opportunities this month to bring home that blue deck box, I thought I'd gather the big guns, and I brought someone in who's done it all before. Welcome, my guy, AI, Ahmed. How are you, bro?
Yo, thanks for having me, bro. I'm feeling good. I did well in a few regionals recently, and I'm getting lucky. I got momentum right now.
You just come off a quick light top 8 in Peterborough, but probably the proudest achievement, I reckon, from your perspective, is your runner-up in the UK Open over in Liverpool. Talk to me about big tournaments. How was that one in particular?
Honestly, it was so exhausting. My hand was getting cramped up around round 8, round 9. I couldn't feel my fingers. But you know what? You just had to lock in.
Big advice. Was there anything a bit surprising? Was the standard of player maybe higher than at locals, or
I would say the first 6 rounds is just locals. Like, it's not hard. When it gets to round 7 and above, that's when it gets a bit more tricky, because anyone can go at 6-0. Like, realistically, like, when it gets to the deeper rounds, that's where it actually matters. So, like, fortunately for me, the first 6 rounds were easy. I don't even remember the games that well. But round 7, I had to play Jordan Gallagher. That was a hard round. I'll tell you that for sure, bro.
What was that like? Did you feel the pressure sitting down across from him?
Bro, I was so locked in that day. I was just locked in, staring at him, shuffling my deck and playing. Of course, I lost the dice roll, which is a normal theme with me. But you know what? I just had faith in Susan, bro, and I popped off, brother. I took it there.
I think you're probably the only person to give Vanquish Soul Holy Sue the nickname Susan. You've talked about being locked in.
Nah, I have to give credit. Sorry to interrupt, but Josh Kelly put me on that. All right, he started the Susan trend, and I just that's my thing now. Susan fan club.
Man, big up all the Susans out there. So you've played Vanquish Soul K9 pretty much since it came out. Why has that deck been the one for you? And even though the meta's changed quite a bit since its original release, how come it's still been there for you?
All right. I'll tell you some lore, okay? So I started Yu-Gi-Oh back in June last year. Prior to that, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh since I was a kid. So I went to Europa. It was in Wembley back then. It's moved to near Camden now. Shout out to Europa. And my cousin was like, come Europa. They're having an event for Alliance Insight. It's a draft, right? So I didn't have cards back then. So I was like, okay, sure. So I paid £20. I paid the tournament. I got my ass kicked. And I hate losing. Like, I'm a competitive guy. Even though it was a draft, I hated losing. But I had no idea where to start. So I was like, what deck do I make to people there? Someone suggested Live Twin Fiendsmith. Yeah. So I started picking up cards straight. And then midway around June is when I finally finished my whole deck for Live Twin Fiendsmith. I was getting clapped left, right, and center. I had no ideas how to play the game properly. I had no ideas how chains work, when to interrupt players, and then I was just getting clapped at locals all the time. But then slowly I got better, obviously. And the the reason why I picked up Vanquisol was one day at locals, our boy Martin had a Vanquisol call. I had no idea what Vanquisol was back then, yeah? He was trying to sell it to our boy Corey. Shout out to Corey King. He's also doing really well in all these events. He was trying to offer it to Corey. And Corey was trying to negotiate a price and all this stuff. And Corey didn't end up buying it. So I went up to Martin. I'm like, what's Vanquisol, bro? He's like, oh, it's just a deck that's used to be good back in the days, but it's getting support in Duad. I'm like, really? How much do you want for it? So we agreed on a price, and I managed to buy the whole core of him back in July. And then I waited all the way to August till the K9 cards got released. Then I actually started playing the deck. And ever since then, I haven't let go. Besides for 1 month when they put Raz into one, I played Kyomitsu. That was really fun as well.
So for the rest of today, a couple of key things to go through. I want to really focus in on the current meta. We've got a tournament to play in what, 5 days? So it's time to really make an impact. We're currently in quite an exciting meta. One of the points that I discussed last week was that not just a single deck is really dominating. There are a few different contenders for us to consider. So as we focus in, I want to talk about some strategies and some choke points against some of the top decks in the game. So we've got 3 decks to talk about today: Dracotail, Radiant Typhoon, and the yummy Azamina deck, which is gaining popularity at the moment. So let's jump ahead and start talking about Dracotail. Here is a recent topping Dracotail list. I don't want to poke a wound here, Ahmed, but this might have been the winner of the Liverpool Open. Sorry to kick a man when he's down. Tell me some key interactions and some choke points against Dracotail.
All right, so when I play against any Draco player, right, I don't interact. Let's say I'm going second against Dracotail. So the first thing you want to do is, once they use a hand or graveyard effect, which is bound to happen because all their effects trigger when they get fused off in grave, right? You never want to use Azuna instantly, never. So you always want to save Azuna when they go end of main. But then you have to take into consideration whether or not they have a Fallen of Virtuous in hand, and whether they have used it this turn or they haven't. Because sometimes what Dracotail players like to do is they like Fallen of Virtuous their own monster to send like an Albion or a Dogma to grave, for example, right? So my advice to you, if you play against Dracotail, don't use Azuna until during the end of the main. Also, you always want to Ash the Rahu. So if you're going second, for example, like let them use Brand Diffusion. Normally you're told, oh, Ash Brand Diffusion, Ash Brand Diffusion. Brand Diffusion itself doesn't really do much. They send either Frixel and like Albaz, for example, or like the Malulu. They end up setting up the Dracotail spell. And you just want to always Ash the Rahu, which is normally the number one, like it's their best starter, to be honest. They go plus on a card and etc. Also, you don't use Azuna till after they use Ketu as well, so they don't go so they don't get a free fusion on your turn. Like hand traps I like using against these guys are like Peruli is really good because they start all playing Fallen of the White Dragon, and what Fallen of the White Dragon does is specials from hand. They use Cartesia special from hand. Like there's a lot of monsters that require being summoned from hand. Malulu, example, Lucius to search for Mina. Like they're gonna give you draws. So I would always suggest siding in Perulius. Going in second, you always want to maximize Ghost Spell and Ash. That way you have interactions for the traps. So side in as many Ghost Spells and Ashes as you can. If your deck can play Purge, play Purge. Yeah, it's not a hard matchup. Imperm goes hard as well, first or second, because it just stops them from recycling from grave with Althania.
So end of main phase, you've hit the Azuna, you've gone into Lupus. What are we summoning? Straight into Ripper?
I would go into Ripper and that's it. Because that way, the first action you can do on your own turn is either attack into one of the monsters, and then main phase 2, go into Zeus and then detach 2. But you have to make sure you don't use the effect initially to search on your turn, because if you do that, then they're going to be able to just pop it or like negate it or somehow like with. Also, during the end of main, if you have it during the end phase, you can stop one of the essential cards. For example, let's say they have no cards in hand, and you know they can special an Albaz from on your turn, and you know they need a card in hand to discard. For example, Cartesia goes back to hand, you can negate that. That's an important negate. Or if they don't have a Cartesia and they're about to set a Fallen of Virtuous, that's also a very good spot to rip a negate. The Albion set or add to hand. Like all these little interactions you can do with the K9 cards, which are great.
You talked a little bit about Fallen the Virtuous. I think that is rampant today, and I think it plays in all 3 decks that I think we're looking at. Any thoughts on it? You play it yourself, right?
I don't play it myself, but it's a beautiful card, very well designed. Target, send a monster to grave, pop. Branded needs this kind of support anyways, so they deserve it. Also, it's universal, any deck can play it, and it's searchable. Quick spell as well, so it's used in other decks that require quick spells. So yeah, I think this card's 10/10, and like the effect is special summon from your opponent's grave is crazy. Like either grave, oh, that's nuts. All you need is an Ecclesia, mental.
I've been playing a couple key, really direct counters. If you want to, in the search bar, bring up Wind Up Arsenal.
This guy's fake, man. Okay, I get the reasoning behind it. You summon it on their turn. The first action you do on your turn is detach 1 and pop 2 of their back row. Logistically, yeah, it's good. But for me personally, with my deck, I care about my extra deck a lot, so I don't have the space. I value other cards over that card. But if you're playing Mitsu K9, you definitely have space to run this. So yeah, you have that luxury. Also, it's a good monster to go into Zeus with as well and board wipe the whole field.
How would you rank Dracotail as a scary matchup with the K9 engine on your side?
It's a buy, I would say. Just kidding. Dracotail is really hand consistent, bro. Like when they got when they start and they get going, there's no stopping them, bro. Like realistically, you're not breaking all that. They're doing too much. Like, and they grind. The branded cards like just help their grind game so much because they can always recycle Cartesia, Ecclesia, and all this shit to their hand, and they can always like summon Dogma, shuffle back 2 cards into their deck, Dracotail. They just have infinite recycle, bro. It's just like a crazy deck. Yeah. But pure branded and pure Dracotail by themselves, they're free. But like when they're together, it's just too much.
In a big tournament at the moment, you've got to expect to face this deck probably 100%. 4 times at least.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, especially in the later rounds. So feeling confident going into that. I know that my K9 cards can put in some work there. Now let's talk about Radiant Typhoon. So this is a deck that has started to see a lot more popularity. I've seen a few of them pop up at locals, and we are bound to be facing it at the regional next week. How's the matchup for you? What's scary about it?
It's just whoever wins dice roll, really. Because like, if you can't interact with them and they set up their full board, it's very hard to break, but it's breakable, right? You just have to use all your interactions in a very smart way. So for example, let's say you have an Azuna in hand. You never want to trigger that until it's the last possible thing you can do. You want to bait out as much interactions as possible. You even might have to waste your battle phase. It's worth it. So that way you'll be able to, hopefully they would have gone through Sheena by then. Hopefully they would have gone through Totem Bird. They would have gone through the Omni Negate fucking whale guy. They would have gone through the shuffle bag. Like it's just, it has so much, bro. Like the deck does so much. But sometimes when they go first, they extra and you ash it, they pass. So it's like a high roll deck. What I would do is I would ash always the first thing I see.
With this deck as well, if we go from standby into main, I'm definitely feeling a bit more confident because there's so much they can do in the draw phase. There's so much they can do to play around cards like Droll, etc. if they're not playing in the draw phase, generally I'm feeling good. Do you think that's fair to say?
Not if they have these two bad boys in their hand. They're just baiting you. They're just baiting you, brother. But yeah,
Mad.
if they go main phase and their first action is extra and they haven't searched anything throughout the turn, like in the draw phase or standby phase, actioning their first action is probably correct.
Where should we be most worried if they do get that first action through? I've been under the impression sort of Crocea is a good choke point, or a good option to negate is the Link Monster. What are your thoughts on that?
Bro, honestly, it just depends on their hand. Because realistically, they don't care if you negate Corsair if they have a chant in hand. Or for example, let's say for example they chant search monster, chain Corsair special and draw phase special Corsair search two cards, MST, and let's say like for example, let's just say an Ascendance, for example. They don't care if you negate the Corsair. They're just gonna go Eldom effect, Eldom at Swen, go into Link 1 search MST, summon Swen effect, search, for example, Vision. They just go up in cards consistently, bro. Like it's the kind of deck that always has cards in their hands. And this card over here is so scary, Sheena. But I've never played into one yet, because I always have it in the back of my mind, because Ripper is the number one. Like if you're playing K9, and they're playing into your board, never negate Sheena in hand. Never negate Whale on Grave. Never negate the bird. These cards are all garbage, okay? They do nothing, okay? Because first of all, I'm assuming your Ripper is going to have a Lupus under it, so this is void, okay? If they summon this, you probably want to deal with it another way, so that way they can't negate. This is the only card you should be scared of. This one and Droplet. Like, Ripper will always say Ripper negate for Celestia. Celestina, obviously. Cena, the twin Temperess, whatever her name is. She's the only card you want to Ripper negate.
And it's a bit of a weird one. The effect on it is part of the summon, right?
Yeah, you can't, like, once the effect is resolved, you can't do anything about it.
Interesting. So playing with a bit of restraint, hold the Ripper to negate the Sheena,
Yeah.
and yeah, try and keep that back row safe. I think there's a lot of cards in here that acquire a lot of advantage. Obviously, a draw two, a search two, etc., etc. You want to be shutting that down. Just
Vision
scary
and
facing an opponent with a lot of cards in their hand.
Vision Virtuous Droplet, bro. Insane cards in this deck, bro. Beautiful cards. Draw two, discard Epic Spell. Target, dump, pop, send, negate, non-target. Like, they're just all so beautiful cards, bro. Like, I wish I could play these in Vanquish Soul, but there's just no space. There's just no space.
I spent a good bit of time last episode singing the praises of Droplet. I think it can really
Yeah.
carry decks. So, same question. Where would you rank Radiant Typhoon on the scary scale?
I don't think it's tier one. I think it's tier 1.5. If it has good hands, it's tier one. Most of the time, I would say 1.5. Dracotail branded tier one definitely, but this deck 1.5. It's like playing Light Swans, bro. Like it's dice rolly, bro.
Okay, let's talk about our next deck. So, with the Yummy cards slightly falling a bit out of favor, they've seen a bit of a resurgence in a bit of a pile with the Azamina cards and the Dark Magician of Destruction. How do you feel about this deck?
This deck is ridiculous, bro. I think this is the strongest deck if it goes uninterrupted, bro. Because what do you mean they can finish on Azamina Sylvia? They can finish on, oh, this deck doesn't even run Dragoon. No way. Okay, so sometimes they run Dragoon. Oh, they have Zarlin though. Okay, so they can end on Zarlin. They can end on Sylvia. They can end on like any synchro, like, and they have this Diabell Queen. Oh, I hate White Forest cards, bro. They just have so much that they can do, and you just can't stop them, bro. Because like this is a special summon, all right? This is a special summon. All these are like starters, kinda like Effect Veiler, Ash, Ghost Spell, because they could just go into Archmage, bro. Like Salamander Great, Armorage, or whatever his name is. Like they can all go into an instant link one and make the whole deck just all special summons, bro. There's my advice to you, like if you're playing against this deck, you want Nib in your deck. But then again, even Nib's not that great, bro, because they can just go hollow the Azamina, wanted, and just instantly start on Sylvia. Like the deck's ridiculous, bro.
So this is the most fear I've heard in your
Yeah.
voice as a top duelist.
It has
And
the strongest matchup against my deck, bro.
I think my thoughts are complete opposite. One of Yummy's old rivals was Mitsurugi, and I know that they're really, really hurt by a board wipe and being able to sort of dodge targeted negation, things like prayers, etc., to make sure that that board wipe goes off through Murakumo. Whenever I see a Yummy card, I can't lie, I feel confident, especially if I've got a bit to counter it. I think some of the lines in this can be a little bit frail. If you save an Ash to the synchro that searches 2 or summons 2, sorry, I think you're generally in a good spot. In decks like this where they don't run Dragoon, generally they use the Dark Magician combo to go into Gravity Controller and then to start going off Yummy combo essentially.
They search Magician Souls. This card's crazy. So what they do is they go Magic of Destruction in the EMZ. They search Magician Souls. They special Magician Souls, and then they just get more cards. They can draw into more cards. So what is this card, bro? Like special summon this card, and like you can send 2 spells and traps from your hand and just draw. Like so what you're telling me is you can just pitch Surprise, for example, or like any extra copies of Wanted, and draw 2, and then just you can recycle Surprise with something like Marshmallow. Like, no, this deck is just cracked. And they don't even need more snatchies because they have a link route, bro. That's like a snatchy in itself. It can like tribute 1 monster special summon, and like you can instantly start with a link 1 and just start special summoning instantly. Like the deck has so many ways to special, and even if you're playing Mitsu, the only way you're stopping this deck is assuming you have prayers as well as everything else. You're asking for God hands, bro. You're telling me they have Effect Veiler, target negate. They got Imperm to target negate your Murakumo. They got a Saint, like let's say a Sylvia, if you try to like bait them out by negating, like using the effect to make them discard a card, they could just negate the whole effect. Like Ghost Spell is just gonna clap your free preps, your prayers, and all that stuff. They even main deck draw. Like the disrespect is crazy.
Is there anything in the side deck that you might use as a hard counter to get over this deck? How would you stop it?
Prayer, open shifter, bro. Like listen, you need shifter in your deck, in your side deck or your main deck. You need nibs. Nibs are really good. When it comes to this deck, what I would do is have nibs, have board breakers. This deck, I don't know, man. What you want to do is you want to bait out all the interactions. Like you probably want to just get rid of as much Omni Negates as possible. You're gonna have to be dealing with 2 Omni Negates from the get-go. So I don't know how with 6 cards in your hand, unless you Fluid or anything, like how you're breaking that with 6 cards in your hand. You need to interact on their turn. And this deck is very good at not playing with hand or graveyard effects because they don't need to. This is Inherit Summon. They just get special. This is the only card they play that might trigger in hand. If they know you're playing K9, they're not going to trigger it unless they have to. So my advice to you is to go Azuna, Lupus, and go Typhoon on their turn in the EMZ zone, just in case they're playing Gorgon. Just go Typhoon on their turn, bro. Because all the Yummy cards are all target negates. You just go Typhoon, attack into Zarlin, make Zeus, and board wipe. But you need to deal with the Azamina Ilya. So what I would do is if you both your bodies survive, right? Typhoon, attack Zarlin, Azuna, attack Sylvia, but then you can just tribute over it if you have an Aurora in your deck, special summon from deck, and then just like bait out their Omni Negate before you go into Zeus.
I think a
So
real advantage in the K9 Mitsurugi hybrid is going as far as you can along one line of combo before you kind of reveal the other, essentially. Whether that is game one or game two, it definitely helps to catch people by surprise when they think you've only got one set of options and then widen to another. If they try and stop your Mitsu cards with a hand trap, transition into K9 and go from there and vice versa. So I think things like that tend to work. So yeah, bait out as much as we can and then just try and close off.
Zeus is crazy, man.
Zeus and Typhoon going absolutely crazy in this deck. So let's hope to see both of them this weekend. Where would you rank this one? Is this our top threat so far?
I'll say this is tier 1. And there's a list that we haven't spoken about. It's like Mitsu Azamina. I think that is potentially a tier 1.5 deck as well. I would put it on par with Radiant Typhoon. It's literally the same deck, but just Mitsu cards and Azamina cards. And like this card is just cracked. Like Magician Souls is cracked because you can grow and you can run visions as well. You can run so much in Mitsu Azamina list. My advice would be playing Mitsu Azamina. But then again, like I love K9. So just enjoy it until it gets banned. Yeah. Everyone's out for our girl Ripper, bro. What do you mean?
With a rare opportunity to talk to a player that's got it done at the highest level, I've got some questions that I'd really love your input on. First and foremost, what's the difference between playing to win and playing to not lose?
There's players that you play against and you see them playing, they're in a losing position and they're just playing to play. Like they can't change a game state around. Those players are like very irritating because they're just wasting time and there's a risk of double loss nowadays. But play to win, like if you do have a win condition, definitely don't scoop. Just try your best to hit that win condition, but just always take into consideration the time, okay? Time is of the essence. We only have 50 minutes now, so just lock in. And if you see you're losing game 2 and you don't have a chance to even break their board and there's no top deck that can help you, just scoop mid combo. You don't need to watch them like do all that. It's unnecessary. Just learn when to scoop.
Another question, and something I've probably struggled with during a long tournament. One of the first things you said about the Liverpool Open, it can be quite grueling.
Very good.
What is your advice on mental capacity when you're playing 8 games of Yu-Gi-Oh in a day?
So the Open was 10 rounds in one day, bro. So in between rounds, forget about your friends, bro. They don't need to know your constant update about you. You just go find a corner, sit down. Like even in the YCS, I was meditating in between rounds, bro. Like just close your eyes and just save as much energy as you can, bro. Because people don't understand playing for 10 hours in a row is not easy because you're using like your brain to the fullest of its capacity, right? Because you need to think of different lines and how you're breaking stuff. Like your brain's constantly moving, bro. So in between rounds, what I would say, if you like music, listen to some like classical music or just close your eyes, find yourself a quiet corner. Just don't waste your energy talking to people, bro.
Quick fire round.
Go ahead.
Most overrated deck at the moment?
Radiant Typhoon.
Most underrated deck at the moment?
Bankressel.
Big up. Best hand trap?
Shifter.
Nice. One card people should be playing, but no one is.
Ooh, give me a second. I need to think on this one. Nip.
Nice. Finally, with just 4 days until the big tournament and my chance to bring home a deck box, give me some advice, man. I need a pep talk.
Bro, listen, brother. Just lock in. I know you're like me. You're very competitive. You hate losing. Like, if you lose, take it on your chest. Don't get tilted if your opponent asks you what your card does, because that's part of the game. All right? You're guilty of that. So, honestly, just lock in, bro. Like, even if you lose, just use it as a learning curve. Because, like, I went to like a UK Open before this one. I didn't top that one. I went to like maybe 2 or 3 other regionals that I didn't top. So it's just part of learning experience. The more you try, eventually you'll get lucky, you know? Because that's Yu-Gi-Oh is a lot of luck at the end of the day. A lot of luck. And then you get one of these bad boys.
Oh, clip that.
Don't ever hype up Gary, bro. Don't worry, I'll sell you one when I win another one, okay? I got you, bro.
Sorry, I'm gonna have my own in a couple of weeks. Don't worry about that. Don't you worry about that.
Inshallah, brother.
Any shout outs?
Shout out to Europa, new shop near Camden. Very nice shop. Shout out to Taz, he makes the best coffees out there. He makes the best lattes, banging milkshakes. Make sure you ask for the milkshakes.
Big thank you to Ahmed. I hope that conversation had a lot to offer, just as much as his final pointers have set me up to get out there and smash it this weekend. I want to also shout out everyone at Europa. Few times we reference playing against top competition, and many of our boys are out there now topping regionals, so it's time to follow suit. My advice to anyone looking to really take their play a bit higher: if you're living in London, get down to Europa, to the new store in Camden, or make sure you're at your most competitive, most meta locals. Iron sharpens iron, so time to get out there, really push ourselves, and let's see how we do at the Cheltenham Regional this weekend. Tune in next episode to hear how it went, our first crack at that blue box. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how you think I'll do. Hopefully I'll make you lot proud. Let's go.
So that's how it ends, huh?